look at the film from Saturday, just what are some areas that you kind of want to see you guys progress this week?
Yeah, I think we got to do a better job with communication. I think that's probably the number one thing. That's just everywhere, you know, even sideline operation, all that stuff. So I think a lot of that stuff, first game, preseason, you know, you see stuff like that and you get better at everything. Well, that's what we're focused on right now. I think the guys have done a great job of that the last 2 days. So working hard and getting that right. And they did a lot of good things too.
First time calling a game for you on the sidelines, just what was that like?
Yeah, did it in college a bunch when I was at Boston College, but it was good. It was fun, you know what I mean? And watching the guys compete. We didn't give them a whole lot. It was kind of a small menu of what we did. But, you know, you go back like every other game, correct what's incorrect, try and get it right, walk through it, get out here and practice it. And that's kind of what we're doing in the process, everything here with camp.
What sort of positives did you see from Saturday? Not just the first game, but everything.
Yeah, I thought the positives probably were I thought we did a good job in the run game overall. You know, we were physical in the front. The 4-minute stop, that was good to see at the end of the game. Thought the guys kept competing that way. You know, 3 and out early in the game was good, but a lot of things are correct, but definitely some positives there. And like I said, I thought the run game, we did a pretty good job overall.
Trayvon said they got you guys with some tempo. How do you prepare for that here this week?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job preparing for that. Like I said, a lot of that is communication, just getting your cleats in the ground, ready to go. So I think, you know, the guys have done a great job with that in the last 2 days, so I think we'll be ready for that. Yeah.
Is that anything like the communication stuff, anything that was more than what you would normally expect for a first preseason game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought some of it, I wanted it to be better than it was, you know, if that's what you're asking, for sure. But, you know, got new guys out there and new system, and we're working on that, and we'll get it right.
With Tyson Campbell down for a day or however many days, Christian Braswell has sort of been put in there. How has he performed this whole camp, and where have you seen his progress?
He's done a great job. He's competed really hard the whole camp. You know, I thought today he had a good practice. He's been physical, so pleased with his effort to this point.
Getting Dennis Gardeck, you know, full team drills, what's it been like just starting to see him work more?
Been great. I mean, he's a high effort guy if you've ever watched him play. You know, he practices physical. He had some really physical reps today. I think he brings a lot of good traits out there on the field with him. You know, he's a good pass rusher, physical in the run game, so excited to have him out there.
Travis Hunter out there a lot on defense today, and
yeah,
got to see a drive from him on Saturday night.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how he's progressing at corner?
He's doing a good job. I mean, he's progressing every day. Like I said, he's done a great job with splitting time on offense and defense. So it's a tough task, but he's handled it really, really well. And like anything else, you know, there's things are correct, but some things he did really good the other day.
When you guys were sitting down before this camp started, and you're trying to come up with a schedule for Travis and how you're going to use him and all that other stuff, who do you call to kind of get advice on that? You know what I mean? Like, there's no precedent to look at and go.
I mean, I think Liam, like I said before a couple weeks ago, did a great job just laying that out, and it seemed very, very. He had total clarity as to how he wanted to do it. He really presented it in an easy way for all of us to understand, and he's managed Travis's time really, really well out here every day. So he really was kind of the guy that drove the process on that, and I think he did a really good job with it.
Interior of the defensive line, obviously depth kind of a question with no Eric, no Mason right
Sure.
now. What have you seen from the guys who have been out there?
Yeah, they competed hard. I thought Smoot had a good game the other day. You know, the guys inside I thought played pretty well overall. Like I said, in the run game, they played physical. We got some knockback and we're grinding blocks, but like everybody else, it's a process. You know, we're looking to improve every day with all these guys.
I think you guys signed Austin Johnson, like last Monday? Or
yeah, he's been great. He's a total pro. I mean, he's fit right in, coming in the room. He's been working his ass off every day. Really good dude. I'm happy to have him here.
We talked about wanting to see maybe some tighter coverage on that third down or whatever the heck it was. Did you guys just want to play all zone soft all day, or was that not soft, but?
No, I think some of that is situational awareness. You know, you want to be tighter on guys, especially on the third downs. You know, you can't give them that space that we gave them on a couple reps the other night. But part of that is some young guys and getting that right over the course of the game and correcting those things when you come back in. And that's where we're at in camp right now. You know, still working, still a work in progress, and got to do a better job with some of those things.
In some ways, is it not enough time for these guys to get in preseason? You know what I mean? To kind of get all that stuff together?
No, I think the beautiful part of football is you always got to understand time's the enemy. You know, time is the enemy. That's what you're working against. So every walkthrough, every meeting, if you're not paying attention, if you're not dialed in on all your reps, you know, your opportunities out there, however many they may be, like, you got to make them count. you know. And I know that's like cliche. Everybody says, "Oh, don't count the reps, make the reps count." But like, there's not enough time to to not be locked into what you're doing. So if you don't do that, you know, sometimes you're learning on the fly. And I think we'll learn from that last outing out there on the field.
Ventrell rotated a little bit with the first team defense here today. What do you want to see from him in order to get more reps? His role, what could his role be with this defense?
I think he's a physical guy. I think if you go back and watch the tape the other night, I thought he played very, very physical, played downhill. And he's really, like I said, for a couple of these guys, he's learning it, processing it all right now, and I think he's picked it up pretty well. He's had these last few weeks, he's been pretty darn good, and I thought he played well in the game. So we just want to see the uptick in progress, you know, with what he's done to this point, and his production was pretty good the other night.
And then Darnell getting a lot of run, kind of, you know, 3 safety look, coming off as a pass rusher. What is his role right now for this defense?
Darnell, what are you talking about? Savage, yeah. Okay, I mean, I think he's done a really good job because he's moved around. You know, he's played nickel, played safety, like you said, and you have to be a smart guy to do that. You know, and you need smart players, and he is certainly that. Over his career, he's done that. So he brings a lot to us as a defense, a guy that we can count on. We feel like he does a good job when he's back there at safety, and he's done a good job at nickel. You know, like everybody else, got some things to clean up from the game, but he's working his ass off too. And you expect him to be ready to go here when we play the Saints.
From your perspective, what did you see on the touchdown play, the Darnell Washington high catch?
Yeah, on that one, we just had a little bit of a MA there in the coverage, something we got to clean up, and which we cleaned up when we got back in the next day, and that's really what happened.
I know we talked about Jarian last time and the opportunity before him, but have you seen kind of the same flip switch with Travis now that Tyson is kind of down?
How do you mean that? Like flip switch?
Realizing the opportunity to get more reps that might not have been there.
Yeah, he's been pretty locked in the whole way, though. You know, I mean, I think he's been really serious about doing this and playing at a high level on defense the entire time. So he was kind of steady Eddie as far as that goes the whole way. He's been locked in the whole time, and I wouldn't necessarily say I see an uptick, but he's been pretty disciplined and detailed with it the whole way through.
22 talking more smack the last 2 days.
22? Yeah, 22's been competing. He's doing a good job, and I said this last time I was up here. I thought he did a good job throughout the summer coming back, knowing the system. And he's competing with our receivers every day, which is helping him get better. He's playing against good guys out there, so he's doing a good job.
I'm sorry.
All good.
You had some fisticuffs out there today for the first time in camp.
Yeah, that's a good thing. No, I think it means guys are usually competing. You don't want guys fighting, you know, all day and wrecking the practice. There's not time for that, but sometimes tempers flare, and usually that means there's emotion out there, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. We don't want them fighting each other all practice, but guys are getting heated and competing. I think that's a good thing.
Guys should learn not to maybe throw punches at guys that are wearing helmets.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be throwing punches and all. But, you know, it's football. It's an emotional game. We don't want to be, you know, nobody's worth 15 is what we say. Nobody's worth 15 yards. So we don't want to do that. But in the heat of the battle in camp, I'd be hard-pressed to say I was ever in a football camp where there wasn't some emotion and guys pushing and shoving and all that. So, yeah, it's kind of status quo.
Last one. I know Caleb's hurt right now, but just how is that competition at safety gone, and when do you guys hope to finalize who's starting there?
We're just going to keep assessing that the whole way through. You know, guys are going to compete every day in practice. They're going to compete in the games. They're going to compete all the way through the last week of the season. That's the way I see it. I think that's the best thing for a defense is to always have competition. You know, and I think that drives the culture of the room. When guys are constantly competing all the time, that's a good thing. We want high effort. We got that today, though we had a really physical practice, good communication and high effort, and finish from all the guys, safeties included. So, yeah, they're going to be competing the whole way through.
Thanks, Coach.